Hello everybody. Hello everybody. It's Alexis from We Rise Yoga. So we're going to do a 30-minute practice today, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So if anything doesn't feel right to you, maybe try a different way to do it, or you can also to a seated position and come back into it when you feel ready. Okay, so we're going to start in a comfortably seated position, and whatever that means for you. That can mean legs out, legs in, and just beginning to tune in. And I invite you to close the eyes if that's in your practice, or maybe a soft gaze down. When we close our eyes or have a soft gaze, it sends messages to the brain and body that I am safe, connected, balanced. Take your attention to your body connected up against the earth, that self-regulation technique called grounding. When you can notice and feel the ground underneath you, it sends messages to the brain and body of being safe, balanced, ready for a new day. And then see if you can take your attention to your breath. Don't even try to change it, but just notice the natural rise on the inhalations, the softening, settling, letting go on the exhalations. And if you can, see if you can bring a little longer breath to the exhalation. Allow the exhale to be 2 counts longer than the inhale. Remember, the exhale is connected to the parasympathetic system. So if we can lengthen the exhales, the body catches up with the mind catches up with the body, and so forth. Let's try a breath together. Deep breath in. And a sweeping, cleansing exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Taking your time with the exhale, riding the wave of the breath. You can even try navel to spine as the body becomes like an empty vessel. Now let's try it with our lips sealed. Inhaling. Lips are closed. Keep the lips closed as you exhale. And you might notice more sound, more texture to the breath. It might take you a little more time to let go. That's intentional. Once more, inhale. Pause at the peak, maybe try swallowing. Keep the lips sealed as you exhale. This breath is called Ujjayi Pranayama breath. And allow this breath to be the baseline for which you continuously return to today. In moments of challenge, in moments of stillness, maybe you can go back to this breath. Just roll the shoulders back now, and maybe you start to already notice a sense of being calm and content. Good. A deep inhale as we bring the arms up high above the head, palms in prayer, hands come together down to heart center. Maybe setting an intention for the day. Just what is it for you? What will make you better? And then take a deep inhalation. Exhale, seal it in. I'm beginning with movement. We're going to take our hands down and come into a tabletop position. I'm going to be facing sideways now. As we tabletop, we're going to line the knees underneath the hips, the wrists underneath the shoulders, softness on the hands if you can, and then just beginning with a gentle cat-cow. On the inhale, dropping the belly down, arching the back. On the exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin to the chest, doming the back in space. Continuing with the breath. If you choose to continue to move with that breath, it is completely up to you, but finding this natural pattern, your own rhythm, connection, this sense of fluidity as the breath moves through the body. Good, I'll give you time for one more full cycle, so a full inhalation and a full exhalation. And then when you're ready, let's come into a neutral spine. And let's try tucking the toes for downward facing dog. Welcome your impulse to move here. Keep in mind, we don't always have to be still to find meditation. A lot of times our bodies can be alive with movement and energy and feeling.
And as you press firmly through the center of each palm, can you keep the face soft and maybe the gaze up towards the navel or the upper thighs? See if you can transfer body weight from hands to legs. And then when you're ready, try taking an inhale high up on the balls of the feet. And on the exhale, softly settle and bring them back down. In this moment, can you just be present in breath and body and shape? And then when you're ready, take a deep inhale. You can look towards the hands, maybe coming high on the balls of the feet. And let's get to the front of the mat. You can walk or jump, it's up to you. And as we come to the front of the mat, let's take an inhale and come up halfway to pause. And here in the shape, what I'd like for you to notice is soft knees, long spine, maybe a flat back like a table. Some people like their hands to the earth, it's up to you. And then just take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, see if you can soften and let go, softening through the kneecaps. And then on your next inhale, a reverse swan dive, big expansive arms, palms together as if grabbing new energy for a new day and taking it into our hearts. Samastitihi, which means come into the present moment, which essentially means feel your body. Good job. So we're gonna go into some arm movements now. And these are beginner arm movements. So I'm going to take the feet about hip-width distance apart, and these are called cross-lateral patterning. I'm not going to talk during this exercise, so it's just kind of like a video game, yeah? Your arms are probably going to hurt. That's part of the process, right? Knowing that we can be with stress and challenge in the body and make our way through. Let it go. And just notice how it feels to let go. Sometimes the body can remind us that letting go can feel really good. So as we step to the top of the mat, we're going to come into some patterns with the full body. And physical patterns are so important. So either feet together or slightly apart. And here we begin with the movement. A half a sun A on the inhale, reaching the arms up, growing tall. Exhale forward, hold big expansive arms as you come down, soft knees. Inhale to a halfway lift. See if you can actively pull the shoulders back and keep the knees soft. And exhale, let it go. Again, softening through the knees and face. And on the inhale, reverse swan dive, arms out wide, reaching tall through the fingers. And on the exhale, hands to prayer. Samastitihi, come into the present moment. Feel your body. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, moving with breath. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders back, long spine. Exhale, release and let go. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms out wide, reaching tall through the fingers. Exhale, hands to prayer. Samastitihi, come into the present moment. Last one, together, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, let go. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms out wide, reaching tall. Exhale, hands to prayer. Samastitihi, come into the present moment, feel your body. Good job. So we're going to come into a shaking technique here. And we're going to take the feet apart about hip width distance and just get really light in the knees and the feet. Now, if you have bad knees, pay attention. You know, we don't want to hurt ourselves. But I'd like for you to get really playful in your body here and just kind of let your arms wiggle around, kind of flop around. And then maybe bringing a little more intention to the movements as we go forward and back, like we're bouncing basketballs side to side, and continue to come back to the breath as well. And then going forward. And maybe you visualize if something's been kind of stressing you out or weighing you down on your shoulders. Imagine it flowing down your shoulders, out your forearms, down your fingers and back into the earth.
letting go with movement and breath and energy. And then let's try that from our hearts, because sometimes our hearts feel so heavy with the burden that we carry there. So releasing from the heart center, and then coming up above the head. Same thing, because sometimes we get so wrapped up in our heads, right? So trying to find that sense of clarity. And then back forward again from the heart. And then back forward again from the of the body. And then coming back to basketballs, coming full circles, right? Full circle. And then just letting your body go wiggly, right? Nice and fluid and smooth. Finding your inner child here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now pause. Stand tall. If you want to close your eyes, you can. Spread your fingers and notice what you feel. See if you can slow the breath. That can be a very powerful exercise. If you feel that tingling in your fingers and toes, that's a healing response, right? That's your body sending out good energy into your body. Okay, so let's go ahead and add on a little bit, coming back to that full body pattern. On the inhale, arms come up nice and high. On the exhale, coming down, tapping the palms to the mat. Step the right foot way back and just coming into this nice long lunge. So we want to make sure on a runner's lunge that the knee is directly above the ankle, that we're not doing this, but that our ankle is like the foundation to a really strong building, right? So kind of notice where those energy lines are. And optional to always lift that back knee down if that's in your practice as well. I'm going to keep my back knee up and rise to a crescent position here. And so pulling the arms back behind the ears, this is considered a heart opener. Lifting the arms above the head can allow for confidence and strength to be felt throughout the body, and sometimes those feelings can follow you throughout your day. So just being aware of your body's shape, and then maybe a slight lean forward here, taking an inhale, and I'm going to give a soft bend to the knee and lift up into this Warrior 3 position. You can take your arms out to a T. You can certainly leave your arms up high by your ears. Either one, just holding the shape. If you fall out of it, maybe softly get back into it. For 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower. Shake it out. And we're going to come straight to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Let go, hands down, stepping the left foot way back, adjusting for a nice runner's lunge with the knee directly above the ankle. Once you find your shape, inhale, rise. Coming into this long crescent shape, option to have knee down here. And then maybe a slight lean forward, taking an inhale, and with the exhale, lifting off into this T-shaped position. Just noticing this focused awareness. Whenever you come into these balancing exercises, this pure, pristine awareness and focus that takes place. Coming back to the breath for 3, 2, and 1. Gently lower the leg down and shake it out. Nice job. So we're going to take it down closer to the mat now. Taking an inhale, bringing the arms up nice and high. And on the exhale, gently lower. And we're going to step back to a downward facing dog. Just taking a moment to notice this shape once again, firming through the center of the palms, the gaze towards the navel or upper thighs, making any movements to make yourself more comfortable. And then see if you can be soft and relaxed in the breath here. And then slowly making your way down onto your knees. Good, and we're going to come up nice and high up onto the knees here. Bringing the right knee forward, or right leg forward, and coming into this upward position. Taking the hands, one palm on top of the other, on top of the thigh, stay away from the knee. And you have the option to just stay up nice and tall here, focusing on balance and awareness, or if you choose to lean into this hip a little bit, that can sometimes feel good. Try walking the foot forward so the knee is always directly above the ankle, and then just taking a moment to notice what you feel. Some people like to maybe bring their gaze up here, shoulders back, maybe visualize the sun shining through your ribs for 3, Find your breath. 2 and 1. Good. Releasing the hands down on either side of the calf muscle. Try pushing your bottom towards the back of the room as you flex the toes towards the nose. Pulling the belly in, and notice what you feel here. This one can be really challenging. So honor your body, honor your shape, and if it doesn't feel good, maybe make little subtle movements. I like to move with breath. So on the inhale, I'll lean into that front heel. And then on the exhale, I'll actively push back to sometimes find that movement, that connection, right? So often we become statues or sculptures and maybe force things on our body that doesn't feel good. So learning to find that movement and playfulness and being okay with moments of discomfort. One more inhale and one more exhale. If you're moving with breath or not, just notice what you feel for 3, 2, and 1. Good job. And then we'll bring the right foot back to meet the left. Let's take a small breath, inhaling and exhaling. Good. Back up onto the knees. Let's try the other side. Left foot forward, planting the foot down. Bringing the hands, one palm on top of the other, maybe the non-habitual grip if you notice the differences now. And then you can sit up nice and tall here and kind of just notice posture and balance, or maybe you choose to lean into that. If you're leaning into it, keep the knee directly above the ankle. And again, some of you may want to lean back, shoulders back. It's completely up to you. Keep in mind, whenever the head goes up or the gaze goes up, balance becomes much more challenging. So you can try it and see where you're at today, if you'd like. For 3, find your breath. 2 and 1. Good. Releasing, bringing the hands on either side of the calf muscle as you push the bottom towards the back of the room, flexing the toes towards the nose. This is one of those ones that hurts so good, right? But again, if it hurts too much or it feels forced, maybe learn to find those movements, right? Those moments where you can actively be aware of your body's place in space, knowing when something feels good to lean into it and when something doesn't, to lean out of it, right? So inhaling and exhaling. Let's try one more full cycle of breath together. Good. And then when you're ready, release and bring that foot back, and let's take a little breath together, sitting up tall. Inhale and exhale. Good, and we're gonna take the feet from underneath the body for a final seated flow. So bringing the feet forward, like the number 11, flexing the toes up towards the sky, reaching up on the inhale, and on the exhale, folding forward and just finding a bind, right? And a bind just means we're using our body as a form of resistance. So you can grab your calves, your ankles, your feet, wherever. And what I'd like you to be actively aware of, though, is the shoulder girdle, right? So that the shoulder girdle is not collapsing around the heart or the head is flopping down, but rather the shoulders are pulling back so that the heart can be open here and lead you in this shape and inside this space. I like to move with breath here, so on the inhale I'll essentially create space on the and on the exhale moving the body into that space as I find a little bit more depth. It's up to you whether you want to move or not. I just find that fluidity to give me a little more focused awareness, yeah? One more full cycle of breath. Good, and then when you're ready, release and into the shape. So we're gonna come into our boat, Navasana, which is another form of shaking. So turning your heart open towards the sky, and then when you're ready, you can lift your legs up off the ground. Your knees can be bent or they can be straight. So coming into this shape, see if you can get really tall through the crown head. So resist the urge to dump into the lower lumbar spine, but just really notice that tremor and that shake. Your body releasing stress and frustration, that stuff you've been holding to, just bringing it up to the surface and letting it go through breath, through energy. For 3, 2, and 1. Let go. Try crossing at the shins or ankles, and we'll sit the bottom up off the mat for a moment and then just come back down. And maybe just ride that wave. Just notice what you feel. Again, sometimes you may feel your heart beating in more than one place. Sometimes you may feel this kind of buzzing energy inside and out. It's a healing response. Your body's kind of talking to you, right? Having that conversation of aliveness. So we're gonna make our way down, but don't get too comfortable. We're gonna sit up nice and tall, taking an inhale, and with your exhale, just go down. Oh, I gotta move my mic. Nice and slowly. And then as you come down onto your backs, we're gonna bring the feet into this neutral position with the feet flat on the mat. Taking the left foot high over the right thigh, reaching up through that space you've made 2 inches below your right knee or behind your right thigh, either one will do. And then pull the knee in towards the chest. Be sure to flex the feet. A lot of brain matter goes into our fingers and toes, and so we wanna nourish our peripheral points, and that will help to nourish your senses. So always being active through the feet and the fingers unless otherwise cued not to. But anyway, you can move with breath here, or maybe tuck the chin towards the chest, a nice long spine. Resist the urge to let your head fall back. And one more inhale and one more exhale, and just notice what you feel. Good. And then we're going to release the left foot down to the earth, keeping the feet flexed on both legs, interlocking the fingers below the right knee, pull the knee in close, and then actively bring the knee out to the right side of the body while keeping the left side of the body grounded. Now I like to move with breath here because we are massaging the internal organs, and to get to those you have to have movement. So on the inhale, I'm going to release the knee slightly, and on the exhale, pull it in and hold on and bring it up close to the right armpit. And continue like that. Inhale, gentle release, creating space. Exhale, holding on, moving the body into that space. So that movement massages the internal organs. Here we're massaging the ascending colon, the first part of our digestive system, along with the stomach. So just kind of continuing to find that rhythm and that pattern with the movement and the connection with the breath. Let's do one more full cycle. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, and then let that go and take a nice long inhalation. Good morning stretch. And then coming straight to the other side, bringing the feet down. Right foot crosses over the left thigh now, reaching through, grabbing 2 inches below your left knee or behind your left thigh, flexing the feet, and then noticing what you feel. So some people like to move with breath here to kind of release the bind slightly, and then on the exhale, hold on a little tighter. Notice if your head is floating back, see if you can tuck the chin to the chest, and we'll do one more full cycle, inhaling and exhaling. Pause and breathe and feel. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to release the right leg and take it down to the mat, keeping the feet flexed on both legs, interlocking the fingers below the left knee and bringing the left knee up and over to the left side while keeping the right side of the body grounded. And here I'm going to move with breath. On the inhale, letting go. On the exhale, holding on. So you can see these little movements, the way the body dances to breath. Inhale, letting go. Exhale, holding on. Good. One more full cycle. Here we're massaging the descending colon, the second part of our digestive system, along with the stomach. And just pulling it in. Good. And then let's give ourselves one more long good morning stretch. Inhaling. And then exhaling, bring the arms down by your side. So here I'd like you to get really comfortable in a symmetrical shape, so arms on either side. And we're going to do what's called progressive relaxation, and this one can feel really good right before a Shavasana or meditation. So get nice and comfortable, and then what I'd like you to do is start to squeeze your toes nice and tight. Squeeze them, curl them in. And then as you do that, can you squeeze your calves and start to feel all your muscles engage and squeeze, and your buttocks nice and squeezed and pulling them in. And then as this moves up, this energy, can you start to squeeze your fingers and your wrists and curl your hands into a fist, and then squeezing the shoulder blades, and as the energy rises, start to squeeze your face. So everything, just holding on to that restriction, that tension, nice and tight, every muscle in the body. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let it go, let it go. Nice and slow, slower than you want to. Just release it. And notice how that feels to release and let go. The body reminds us that letting go can feel really good and can be really beneficial. Shavasana. Shavasana just means meditation. So find comfort in your shape. Some people like to lay flat on their back. Some people like to cross their ankles. You can experiment with all of these. Some people like to lay in a fetal position. I do recommend that if you have any discomfort in the lower lumbar spine from the movements we did today, to lay in a fetal shape. But just find what works for you, and then just notice how you feel. A body scan from top to bottom, the differences you feel now from when you started. You know, there's a purity that happens here. Everybody kind of solving their own puzzle. Going on your own journey of this body and mind and spirit. As you lay here in this space, maybe with a sense of accomplishment for showing up for your physical self today, maybe you come back to that intention you set at the beginning of class, always allowing your intention to be so much more than something you randomly set on your yoga mat, but something that follows you throughout the day, something that becomes a part of you and who you are, and something that makes you better. And then when you're ready, take a deep inhalation and a big sigh, exhale it out. Try swallowing. And for those of you who'd like to make your way into a fetal position, I always recommend it. It's never mandatory. You can raise one or both arms high above the head, like you're taking a good morning stretch. Inhale, and then with the exhale, just rolling over to whichever side you choose. You can use an arm as a pillow into this shape, the same shape that we take right before birth. And just as we are born with new eyes and new thoughts and new feelings, we take this same shape right before our day, hopefully moving into the new day with new eyes, new thoughts, and new feelings. So whenever you're ready to make your way up with me, and you certainly don't have to get up, you can stay in that shape as long as you'd like. I'm gonna get up though. And when you're ready, you can either stay in that shape or take your hands to prayer, thumbs to sternum, back head. May your day be full of magic, and may you not be too busy to see it. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.